We are back, and Mark, your team, Manchester United, back with a bang. What an incredible game that was on Saturday. I've got to say, you know, I had a feeling that United would turn up.
Yeah.
New manager bounce, but I wasn't expecting that. They absolutely bullied and blew away Manchester City. Manchester City didn't get a kick in that game. Talk to me about your team's performance because, you know, new manager, Michael Carrick, new formation, players you could see look completely I was like, who are those up? I mean, that's not the lot I've been watching over the past, you know, year and a half, is it? With Ruben Amorim. These guys were motivated. They were up for it. The crowd was up for it. I mean, you must have been so happy.
Yeah, and you know, look, jokes aside, I mean, maybe this is why we're the goats of the game, Robbie, because on Premier League predictions, neither of us said Man City win, and people on the United stand were going, how did you and Robbie do that? And I just felt like getting one of your cigars and going, you know, this is knowing football. Like, you know, people get lost in moments, but we sat there calmly on Friday and said, Man United won't lose this game. You went with a draw, I went with a United win. And I think it's just because of, it is that. It's like, you know, there's a few things. There's one that Man United are playing at Old Trafford in a derby against Man City and everyone's writing them off. But more importantly, Michael Carrick comes in and he's the same guy who worked with Solskjaer 4 or 5 years ago. And you just say, right, back four, compact, edge of the box, midfield, compact in front, and then pace on the break. He left Sesko out to put Mbeumo up front. You know, Man City can't resist playing that high line. They had a really inexperienced defence. And as long as we, you know, deal with them and counter quick, chance after chance after chance. And it could have been 4 or 5-0. And it's not rocket science. I don't think it's like, it's interesting because I think if we do that against Arsenal next week, who knows what'll happen. And, you know, Carrick's got a good chance to get some results. I think every United fan knows there's no long-termers in it because at the moment, as an interim, you go in, you want to make everybody happy. And if you got given the job, you'd have to start making people unhappy and have a better plan than that. But look, it's a brilliant 3 points for United. And obviously, it has bigger. Well, we'll talk about Arsenal in a minute, but Man City look really bad at the back. I think they're really bad at the back, and we exploited it with Ahmad, Dorgu, and Mbeumo and Bruno, who I thought were brilliant, and nobody can argue with it apart from the red card. But that's VAR, you know, PGMOL. Whatever.
Yeah, hold on, wait a minute. Got to do a rewind on that one, right? Because I have to say, I was watching the game at the time, and I have to say, for me, that was a nailed-on red card. I don't know how VAR can look at that and turn around and say, nah, that's, what did they say? Not enough force or something like, come on.
It was. You're 100% right. I mean, we did a poll on the United stand watch-along, considering that's United stand, 70% said it was a red. And you know, if you do that on AFTV, you know something's not right. And I think it was, look, it was a red card. But, you know, Arsenal have had stuff. We've had stuff. Man City have had stuff. I loved what Pep Guardiola and Bernardo Silva said after the game. They said, look, it's a red card, but that's not why we lost. The better team.
They can't use that as an excuse.
You can't use it as an excuse. And I think it's just another one where we all go, what's that all about? Like Wirtz's onside, offside the other week and everything else. But aside from that, I can't see anything from Man City that they can take from that game. It was a dominant Man United performance, and it felt like, you know, we've had such a bad start to 2026, and there's so much wrong with United, and there still is a lot wrong with United, but it's nice to be able to be in a situation where you get entertained. And I've spoken to so many rivals over the weekend at my lads football, and, you know, obviously you've said it there as well. When rival fans are saying, you know what, United were good, you know it was a good performance. So, we can take that.
That is what I expect to see from Man United at Old Trafford. That's what you expect. You know, they bring the fire, you know what I mean? And they did. And they absolutely blew away Manchester City.
I've got Martinez for Man United. And then I wanted to know you went at left back because I was struggling.
Well, I actually went, listen, United figure very heavily in my team of the week this week. I've gone Shaw at left back. I've gone Martinez and Maguire. I just thought that they were just... Haaland got taken off. Non-existent. United have got to be credited for that. Their defense.
I'm not arguing about any of this. Come on.
Maguire was brilliant, I thought.
Yeah.
You know, even You know, I saw from Maguire, which I've not seen under Amorim, right? He took the ball and drove out from the back. Some of what we used to see him do when he was at Leicester, when he first come in at United. I'm like, you could see the confidence levels. You know, should have scored though earlier. Midfield, all right, I'll give you my midfield again.
Who'd you put right back? Wan-Bissaka?
Wan-Bissaka, yeah, I went Wan-Bissaka right back.
Good, yeah.
Midfield, Bruno, I thought was exceptional in the game. Kobe Mainoo, who showed I'm like, this is why why has he been left out of the team? He was excellent. And Garner at Everton, I thought he was brilliant as well.
It's like the United stand, this. I did have Bruno. I didn't have Mainoo, actually. I thought Mainoo did well, but I actually had Bruno, Rice, and Ampadu at Leeds.
Oh, I'm not putting Rice in. I didn't think he had a great game.
If Man City had beaten United, which a lot of people think they did, were going to beat them, and you were going to beat Forest, it'd be 6 points. But you've drawn, you've dropped points, and you've actually gained a point, haven't you? And I think from Arsenal's point of view, obviously, I think the United game next week is pretty big now because you've drawn your last 2, haven't you? Man City are playing Wolves on the Saturday, so the gap's probably going to be 4 points. If you get beat by United or you drop points to United, I think that starts to put a little bit of unnecessary pressure